All righty, welcome everybody. Welcome to the call. Excited to have everybody on. All righty. Well, certainly welcome to the call, everybody. This is obviously your global director, $500,000 ring earner, Jarrod Wilkins. I'm actually calling in from my home office here in Houston, Texas. Excited to be back in the saddle for the week as your featured trainer tonight, especially on this week's call. Obviously, we've got just an exciting week of things that are taking place and that's happening within the organization, within the business, and obviously excited to see everybody dialing in early onto the line. It just really shows the excitement, the resilience, and the commitment that each and every one of you leaders have as it relates to the business and what you're doing within the business. You know, I'm excited to really talk about what's taking place and what's happening and where we're going as a team, as an organization, not only in 2018, but really finishing out 2017. You know, so many times we can get so caught up in the whole colloquialism of new year and new me and all of those fun, exciting things that many of us at times we forget to really finish out what we have started and really finish out and run through the year or run through the business cycle or the business period. And so tonight I'm very excited to come on and really talk about a couple of things from a standpoint of really finishing out the month of November. As many of you know, right here in the U.S., there's a holiday coming up called Thanksgiving. And there's so much for many of us to be thankful for. Obviously, if you've got breath in your body, you ought to be thankful and you ought to be grateful. You know, gratitude is the seed for more. And with that being said, there's so many people that are obviously getting ready for the holiday season. They are, obviously winding down and getting ready to spend time with family. This year, I know, many of us are putting up even Christmas ornaments and Christmas decorations even before Thanksgiving. I know overseas, so many of our partners and many of our friends and family members that are spread abroad, many of them don't celebrate the holiday of Thanksgiving. So they're just going to be working and running through all this week, all next week, and really through the month of November. And so we're always excited to have partners around the world that are still, obviously still a part of the family and still running for their dreams and goals. But I want to speak specifically tonight to every leader that's on the line. Just really want to talk to you about this topic I call new leaders, new stories, new legs, new stories, new leaders. New legs, new stories, new leaders. New legs, new stories, new leaders. That's really the foundation or the formula for creating the results that you want in this business. It is new legs, creating new legs of business, recruiting new legs of business into the organization. When you recruit new legs, you will produce new stories, new product stories, new income stories. And of course, when you create new stories, you begin to produce new leaders. Okay. And so tonight I want to just kind of talk a little bit about that because, a lot of times in our business, we've got an interesting dynamic, especially when you have an organization the size of ours that comprises of tens of thousands of people. You have to understand that just like children, everybody grows differently. Some people, some kids, they walk at, maybe 6 months. Some kids, they walk at 9 months. Some kids, it takes them a whole year before they begin to walk. And so it is with this business. Sometimes you have people that are walking. You have some that are jogging. You have others that are running fast and running furiously. And what you have to understand is where each and every one of your kids are in terms of their growth. And you have to love them through their growing cycle or through their growing pains, their pains that are associated with growth. And so, because of the size of the organization, we get a chance to work with and see different growth cycles for many of you around the world. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing when you can really understand through the process of growth where people are in their business, just their cadence, their understanding. There's some of us that are just now being introduced to the calendar, you know, how to use the calendar effectively to run our business. There's some of us that are teaching other people how to use their calendars, right? And you're producing other success stories within your organization. There's some of us that are like, what in the world is the calendar, right? Because you may not have been in the business long enough to understand the calendar training. And so there's so many dynamics. There are people that are running for global. That's a part of the team right now. There's some of us running for national. There's some people running for regional. There are others running for executive. There's some directors that are running for executive. There's some people running to become directors within your organization. And so you've got people with all different types of dynamics within the team here. And I want to speak about certain things that will take place within your organization that you just want to be aware of, because I don't care how fast you're growing in the organization or within your business. None of us ever feel we're growing fast enough. You know, when you've got 10 people a month joining your business, guess what? You're going to say it's not growing fast enough. When you have 10 people a week joining your business, guess what? You're going to say it's not growing fast enough. When you have 10 people a day joining your business, you're going to say, guess what? It's not growing fast enough. And so you go out and you double your numbers to 20 people a month or 20 people a week or 20 people a day. Sometimes you'll grow it to 30 and 50, 100 people a month joining your business, or 100 people a week joining, or even 100 people a day joining your business. And guess what you're going to say then? It's not growing fast enough. I can tell you, when I was a So, you know, we ran so fast, we kind of skipped a lot of the rankings here. But nonetheless, when we were directors, guess what? We were like, man, it's not growing fast enough. We need to get to executive real quickly. Then when we got to executive, I was like, man, we got to get to regional. We've got to set the example for people to get to regional in a short period of time. And then we got there. Then I said, okay, we've got to get to national. And we got to national within 48 days in the business. And then, you know, we got to global. Okay, we got to global. It took us, I believe it was 13 months. We got started January 28th, 2016. Okay, we got started January 28, 2016, and we went global in, I believe it was March. I think it was March 2017, I believe it was. Yeah, it was March. It was March. If I had my other calendar, I'm looking at my 2016 calendar. I believe it was February or March, one of the two. So I think, yeah, it may have been February that we went global. So once we got to global, now the objective is, how do we take the organization, not how, but what is the technique, the strategy, and not only that, the environment to take the organization or to lead the organization from a global organization to an ambassador organization. Some of you, you're saying, man, how do I go from, you know, maybe associate to associate to director? Some of us were saying, how do we go from director to executive? And how do I go from executive to regional, from regional to national, and so forth and so on? Well, I can tell you, the way you do it is the way you did it. Did you hear me? The way you do it is the way you did it. One of the things that I tell all of the leaders is, get yourself a "What am I doing right" journal. Okay? What am I doing right journal? Why do I suggest that? I suggest it because when you have a journal, whether it's your journal, your calendar that you write it in, or whatever it is, whatever information or place you can notate when things are going great in your business, it's imperative that you do so. You're going to want to review that when you hit the proverbial wall in the business. Yes, all of us hit a wall in our business. It happens to every person, every director, every executive, every regional, every national, every global, every ambassador, even executive ambassadors hit the wall in the business. We're all susceptible to the laws that govern success. What goes up must come down. And so what I want to talk about tonight is how to grow your business from the peak to the valley and from the valley to the peak. How do you go through this process of growth? What is the mindset that you ought to have? What are the things that you ought to be doing? You know, what am I doing right, Journal? I have the type of music I was listening to. Okay? Because in order to do it, you have to go back to what you did. What do I mean by that? Well, when you had your biggest week of sales, when you had your most profitable week, when you recruited the most people, or when you had the most customers that you enrolled, I want you to go back to that person that you were when things were off the chain, when things were absolutely rocking, because that's the only way you can do what you did, is to remember where you were. Okay, you've got to remember the mindset you had. You've got to remember the state you were in. You've got to remember, and you've got to recall, obviously what you were doing to grow the business. And when you do that, what tends to happen, ladies and gentlemen, is you can now reset and relaunch. You can reset and relaunch. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, when I talk about reset and relaunch, it's all a mental state. It has nothing to do with the physicalities of the business. It has nothing to do with the technicalities of your life. It has everything to do with your mentality. I always tell people that your mentality produces your reality. Your mentality produces your reality. In other words, when you look at where your business is this week, and you look at where your business has been for the last 90 days, what you have to see is, what have I been doing? What have I been thinking? Where have I been going? How am I growing my team? How am I growing my mindset? How am I growing my customer base? How am I growing my organization? And for many of you, you have to have just real conversations. I know so many times people wait till the end of the year before they start planning or having what they call New Year's resolutions. I'm not against a New Year's resolution. I just am one of those people that at one point in my career, I resolved my resolutions, meaning I said, not again, never again. I'm not going to be in this place again. I'm going to make sure that me and my family are no longer in the financial situation that we have been in previously. Now, for many of you, when you hit the proverbial wall in your business, things aren't flowing like they once were. Volume is not where it probably once was. You don't have as many customers ordering or even reordering. Your team has dissipated. You don't have the same amount of people showing the plan as you once had, or you're not even showing the plan as what you once did. People typically have the proclivity and the tendency to forget what they did. And so now what they begin to do is they begin to manage their business. What we begin to do is we begin to manage our business. We start calling the people on our team. Hey, what's going on in your group? What's happening? Let me do a meeting for you. Let me, who can we do a meeting for in your group? Now, I'm not against those things, but what I'm saying is I don't invest a large portion of my time getting with my group. A lot of times what you'll see people do when they hit the proverbial wall, they tend to want to get with their group. You're in management mode. Management does not create money in our business. Did you hear me? Management does not create money in the business. Management creates misery. I want you to write that down. Management does not create money in our business. Management creates misery. What do I mean by management? Well, management typically comes into your business when you've hit the proverbial wall, meaning your activity is no longer where it used to be because your belief is no longer as high as it used to be. See, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a high level of belief, when your confidence is up, when your belief is up in the business in terms of the products and in terms of the results that are happening, or just your belief of your expectation of what's going to take place, your activity is up. Well, when your activity is low, it is typically because your belief is lower. Did you hear me? When your activity is low, it's typically because your belief is lower. Something has happened. Something has been said. Some thoughts you have had has created an environment and a culture for your belief to be lowered. And what typically happens with most of us is when our belief gets low, our activity gets low. And what most leaders begin to do is they go into management mode. They get out of the creative mode, they get out of the creative phase, and they go into management. They start getting with the group. They start talking more to the group than they are with new prospects, with new people. You know you're in management mode when you haven't sponsored a new IBO in more than 30 days. If your business is not growing, meaning your volume is not up, you don't have new people hitting the leadership board, whether it's new people hitting the leadership board for the amount of new customers or any category that's on that leadership board that we announce every single Friday, whether it's new directors or above. Okay, if you don't have people rank advancing and you haven't personally recruited somebody within the last 30 days, you haven't personally enrolled a customer, you haven't personally enrolled a new IBO, ladies and gentlemen, I want to suggest to you, you are in management mode. And management does not create money. Management creates misery. And so what happens when you're miserable? I never forget on yesterday, I had such a miserable headache. I don't know where it came from. It was just pounding. It was just hurting. I felt like a sinus pressure type of headache. And I was so miserable. I was so miserable, I didn't even want to be bothered by anyone. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to hear from anybody. I didn't want to do anything but sit down by myself. That's the first sign of misery. You don't talk to anybody. The first sign of misery is you stop talking to people. You stop talking to your upline. You stop talking to your sponsor. You stop talking, you stop talking to the people that have something positive to say. You stop talking to new prospects. You stop talking to the people that can pour life into you. Why? Because you're miserable. And I sat there for a while. I said, well, maybe I have, maybe I have this headache. Maybe it's a hunger headache. I hadn't eaten since that morning and I had been out doing things all throughout the day. So I said, let me eat. So I went in there and guess what? I started to eat. I made myself a plate and I finished the plate and I sat down. I drank a large glass of water, drank some coffee, and I said, maybe this will go away. And guess what? Sat there for 10, 20, 30 minutes and it was still pounding. Point number 2, typically once we're miserable or once we've fallen into misery, remember what we tend to do is we go look to feel or fuel our misery with things that are unproven. It's called guesswork. You start saying, okay, let me jump on this person's call. Let me jump on this person's live training. Oh, this person says they know how to do it with social media. Okay, let me go listen to their program. Oh, let me go to this event. Let me go to this training. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go do this. You start looking for antidotes and start looking for answers to solve the misery that is upon you that is not proven. I had a headache. I said, let me try this. Maybe I should try some water. Maybe I should try some coffee. Maybe I should try some food. I was looking and reaching for things to help solve my misery, to help get rid of my headache. And so I did that. And here's what many of us do. We do that. And here's what happens. It doesn't solve the issue. It doesn't get rid of the headache. And so now you sit there even more miserable. Why? Because you've wasted time. See, ladies and gentlemen, when you're wasting time, your misery, it intensifies because you've tried this and you've tried that. You've complained to this cross-line buddy. You've complained to that person. You said, oh, why me? And you've condemned and you've criticized and you've complained and you have all but wasted time. Here I was, sitting there. Now over an hour has gone by. I'm like, man, this thing is still not going away. And then it dawned on me. Jarrod, you've had headaches before. What a novel concept. Jarrod, you've had headaches before. How did you get rid of your headaches before? Oh, you took some headache medicine. Ding, ding, ding. So I went in there, got myself 2 tablets of the headache medicine that has been sitting there the whole time, been sitting in the same place the whole time. Matter of fact, it's sitting in the same place I left it from the last time I had a headache. Uh-oh. So I went in there, got my headache medicine, took 2 tablets of it, sat down, and 20 minutes later, the headache was gone. The same medicine that had been there for the same type of challenge, the same headache I had had. Why did I go out trying this and trying that and doing this and doing that? Do you know why? Because misery loves company. Misery loves company. You like to keep company with other people that have hit the wall. You like keeping company with other people whose businesses is not growing. We like to keep company with people who are not moving on. We like to keep company with people that are complaining, with people that are just like us. We can overlook the very thing that we know will quench and kill the headache, but opposed to going in and doing what we did before, we would rather criticize, complain, condemn, reach for food, reach for water, reach for coffee, versus reaching for the thing that had taken away the headache in the first place. What am I saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? When you have a headache, when your head aches, when the head aches, shucks, you have to get the tablets that are proven to get rid of your head aches. What's proven? Ladies and gentlemen, some people always say, well, I need to go back to the basics. I've always been one to tell people you should have never left. There's no reason for me to ever go back to the basics. Why? Because I never leave. I never get too cute to make a new friend. I never get too cute to talk to a new person. I never get too big, high and mighty, lazy, or even misinformed to sponsor a new person into the business. I've got a new leg of business right here in the U.S. that I'm launching this week. Guess what? I'm about to break another director leg. Why? Because I know what cures a headache. I know how not to become miserable or to stay miserable. I understand unequivocally as a leader what needs to take place for me to have a healthy, growing, thriving business. My question for you is, do you? What have you allowed to keep you miserable? Has it been food? Has it been water? Has it been coffee? What have you been reaching for that is unproven, that's keeping you with a headache? What have you become susceptible to? Many of us, we've become susceptible to the food of Facebook. Shucks. We've become susceptible to the food of Facebook. What do I mean by that? We spend, not invest, we spend so much time flickering, fooling, and scrolling through Facebook looking for a prescription for a headache online. Looking for a prescription of food, using Facebook to fill the food void that is not proven to get rid of our headache. We look for water in cross-line relationships or cross-line people. Let me get a fresh glass of water. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm always careful to tell people, be careful whose water you drink. Not all water is purified. Shucks. Be careful whose water you drink. Not all water is purified. You know, when I was growing up in Nigeria, I'll never forget, I used to drink out of the water hoses. You know, here we have water fountains. In Nigeria, they just had, water hoses and whatnot, and you would just drink water. So I was doing that with the other kids because monkey see, monkey do, right? It's called duplication. I guess that's why we're pretty good with network marketing. And I was hanging out at school, playing around, and couldn't have been any more than 8 or 9, maybe 10 years old. No, probably about 8 or 9, maybe 10. And I'm drinking the water out the spot, out of the hose like my other buddies were. And we were playing around, and before you know it, I got sick. And I was at home. I was throwing up and had a raging fever. I mean, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and so they ended up having to rush me to the hospital. I'll never forget the incident. They didn't rush me to a hospital in an ambulance. They did not rush me to the hospital in a car. I remember my grandmother had to carry me on her back and walk for miles to the hospital. I started off walking with her, but I was so sick and so weak, I couldn't keep anything down. She had to pick me up on her back and carry me to the hospital. I get to the hospital and the doctors start running tests and they start doing all types of things to figure out what was going on. And they made a discovery that I had caught a bacterial infection called cholera. And cholera is a bacteria that's found in unpurified water. My immune system had not developed, nor had it built up the tolerance to ingest the water that was filled with the cholera that harmed me but didn't hurt the other kids. See, they were born in Nigeria. They were raised in Nigeria. So they had a different immune system that they could consume the water that had not been purified and not be harmed. But because at the time I had just come to Nigeria, I had just been there maybe 3 or 4 years, I wasn't born there. I was drinking from the same spout. I was drinking the same water, but because it was not purified and my immune system was not fortified enough, I caught cholera and almost died. They had to pump my stomach. They had to give me a blood transfusion to fortify and remove the infection that was in my body. They had to fuel my body with blood that was not even mine, but the blood that they put in my body had already developed and built the fortified immune system to deal with the bacteria that was found in the water. What am I saying to you? Many of you are drinking water from places that are not purified. Shucks. You're drinking water from places and from people that are not purified. You're drinking this water and you're running around here thinking, what's wrong with my business? Your business is polluted. It's polluted because you are not a part of that organization. You're not a part of that team over there. So the water that they're drinking, it's not bad water. It's just not purified for you. And here you are, almost to the point of death. Here you are, almost lifeless. Here you are, needing to be carried. Because maybe, just maybe, you've been drinking water that's not purified. Sure, the water looks clean. The water looked clean to me. Oh, sure, when you're running and you're just running and you're thirsty and you need to quench your thirst and you see everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is saying it. Everybody else is going there. So what we tend to do is we start, here it is, when we hit the wall, we start looking at what everybody else is doing, where everybody else is drinking, the water everybody else is holding on to. And we say, since they are doing it, I'm going to do it. And you start drinking from a well. You start drinking from a well that's producing water that's not purified for your system. And you wind up sick. You have an unhealthy business. But I've got good news. Tonight I'm here to give you a blood transfusion. Tonight I'm here to resuscitate the very nature of your immune system, to give you something that will fortify your belief and build you back strong so you can one day drink that water and not get hurt. So here's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. For me, every time that I've hit the wall in the business, I don't go get with my group. My group wants to get with me because I keep working on building the team. See, I don't get with my group. I work with my team. Who is my team? My team are the people that are calling me. My team are the people, guess what, that are reaching out saying, I've got a 3-way call for you, Mr. Wilkins. See, my team are the people that say, hey, Mr. Wilkins, I'm doing a tea party on 3 times this week, like Mr. Felice Ranger just texted me today. See, my team are the people that are saying, you know what, I'm doing a radio show, and I need you to jump on the radio show if at all possible. Okay. Like Miss Angela Stokes up there in New York. See, my team are the people that are saying, hey, I've got an event that I'm putting together, and I'd love for you to come in and help me close the event or help me do the meeting. See, I don't get with my group. I lead with my team. Some of you are saying, well, Jarrod, that sounds good. I like that. I wish I had a team to lead with, but I don't have anybody calling me. I don't have anybody that's in activity. I don't have anybody that's creating. I don't have anybody that's sponsoring new people. I don't have anybody on my team that's on the verge of going director, Mr. Wilkins. I don't have anybody on my team that's ready to run. I wish I had somebody on my team I could go show the plan with. I wish there was somebody on my team I could go show, do a tea party or launch call for. I wish there was somebody on my team I can get with it and maybe travel out to the market. What do I do if I don't have anybody on my team? Do I just get with my group? No. You need to go sponsor somebody. Yeah, what you need to do when you've hit the wall, like I've done so many times before, you know what I do? I sit down and I put together a new list. I will literally go through my telephone. And I will start, and here's your assignment. Here's your assignment. Everybody on the call tonight, here's your assignment. For those of you that have hit the wall, or those of you that know one day in this business you will hit the wall. See, not everybody on this call has hit the wall. Many of us are having our best weeks yet. I mean, I'm getting record numbers of calls from all over the globe, from markets I don't even want to mention because I don't want you running over to these markets to mess it up with your polluted water. But we've got new teammates. We've got new leaders developing right here in the U.S. We've got them over in Africa. We've got new teammates right there in the Caribbean. We've got new teammates over in Asia. We've got new teammates coming on board right there in Europe and in other places I won't mention. So I don't want you to think, oh, everybody's hit the wall in the group. What's going on? No. That's not what's happening. I want to let you know right now. Okay, we're having in many parts of our organization, we're having some of our biggest weeks of new production that we've ever had in the 22 months that we've been a part of Total Life Changes. But I don't want you to be naive. I want you to write this down. Trees don't grow to the sky. Every business will have a cycle. You will have ebbs and flows. You will have ups and downs. Sometimes your volume will be sky high. Sometimes it will taper down. So sometimes you'll have record numbers of directors being promoted, record numbers of executives and regionals, and that you will have seasons of that. But it's a season. It's a season. Hear me clearly. No season lasts a lifetime. That's good news. Did you hear me? No season lasts a lifetime. Does summer always come? Does winter always come? Does spring always come? Does fall always come? Yes. Why? Because the seasons always change. Now listen to me. When you're in the season, you're always one person away from your new season. You're always one person away from your new season. What do I mean by that? Well, the newest person joining your business can take you from fall into spring. You can spring into a new season with one new person. So your volume may be falling. Jarrod, teach. Your volume may have fallen. Your volume may have fallen backwards, but I'm telling you, you're one person away from springing forth new life. You're one new person from springing forth new volume. You're one new person away from springing forth a new group, a new team, a new leaders. But what you got to do, here's your assignment. I want you to invest some time, the next 24 to 48 hours. I want you to go through your cell phone. I want you to start at letter A in your context and go all the way through Z. And I want you to pull out a sheet of paper and I want you to write names and numbers on a sheet of paper. This is exactly and precisely what I did, what I've done, and what I do. Did you hear me? It's exactly what I did, what I've done, and what I do. I want you to write it down. I want you to not only write down the names and the numbers of the people, and many of them, here's what it is, you may not even remember who they are. So here you are, ladies and gentlemen, walking around with names of people in your phone. Some of us, we're carrying around the name of our next national right in our phone. And we're walking around trying to cure a headache with unproven methods. See, I'm giving you the prescription right now to tuberculosis. I'm giving you the prescription to the headache of not requalifying director. I'm giving you the prescription to cure the headache of not requalifying your position. I'm giving you the prescription for your next position. Did you hear me? I'm giving you the prescription to your next position. Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. Put that list together. You got 24 hours. This is your task. You want to be on my team? You want to graduate from being a part of the group and be a part of my team? I'm doing, or what I did, what I do, and what I'm doing. What I did, I put together a list. I went through A through Z in my phone. Some of you, you've got the ability to go on your social media and pull people from your social media. How do you do it? You don't do it by posting, hey, I'm getting ready to launch a new business, or I'm getting ready to go into wave 2, or no. That's so amateurish. It's unproven. That is the quintessential sign that you're reaching for food, water, and coffee to get rid of your headache. They're unproven. You go on, you're posting and you're spamming people and all that. No, that's unproven. What is proven is this prescription to get you to your next position. Put together a list. You take out that cell phone. You go to your contacts. You start at letter A. You go down those A's and you write down that name and number. And if you know them, you put it there. If you don't know them, you write, I don't know them. But you write it down on a list. To think is to put in an E. This is exactly how I put together a new list, a new list of 225 names of people when we were launching our business. I put together a new list because I could not recruit from my old organization that we had built of over 20,000 people because we had a non-compete agreement, a whole year, a non-compete agreement. So we didn't recruit anybody from there. But because I had a cell phone with contacts in it, many of you, I'm telling you, the name of your next national is in your contact list. And you've been walking around with your next national in your back pocket or in your purse. You put that list together. You got 24 hours. You want to be a part of my team? You got 24 hours. You put that list together. You don't have 48. You've got 24 hours between 9 p.m. tonight and 9 p.m. tomorrow. You want to be a part of the team? Put together a list. No list, you ain't on the team. You're on the bench. You're part of the group. I'm looking for the key players that want to be a part of our starting five. Why do I say our starting five? Because we had 5 new ring earners get promoted in 2017 while you were part of the group. We had 5 new ring earners. We had a brand new $250,000 ring earner in Global Director Matthew and Eileen Harris, brand new ring earners in our organization. We personally sponsored them. Brand new $250,000 ring earners, 2017. We didn't do the work for them. We worked with them, alongside them. We had a brand new ring earner, Untatile. Brand new $200,000 ring earner. Her first year in network marketing. Never built an organization before. But guess what? To get rid of her headache. She asked for the prescription. The proven prescription. She had a headache of being an architect without the money. Without having the resources to take care of her mother, to do the things she needed to do for her family. She came to the table saying, I've got a headache, but I'm tired of reaching for coffee to get rid of this headache. It ain't working. I'm tired of reaching for food. It's not getting rid of my headache. And guess what he did? He took the prescription. That's why he holds the position of National Director, $100,000 ring earner. Then we found Pinky. She's a part of the starting 5. Never done network marketing before. Doesn't have a big Rolodex. Doesn't have networkers that she can recruit. No. She says, I've got a headache. I've been working this job. I'm doing well in my job, but me and my husband, we've been working our jobs and we don't see how we're going to pay off our mortgage. We don't see how we're going to make all these ends meet. We need to get rid of this headache, and we're tired of reaching for things that are unproven. Would you give me the prescription? We sat down and she got the prescription. She got the prescription from us. Now she holds the position of Regional Director, $100,000 ring earner. Then we had Busisiwe Michelle. She came. She says, I need to get rid of this headache. My mother, I've never flown on a plane before. I need to get rid of the headache of not having the experience of having an abundant and full life. I don't know how I'm going to make my ends meet. I don't know how I'm going to take care of my family. I don't know how I'm going to take care of my children. I need to get rid of this headache. And she says, please give me the prescription. I'm tired of reaching for things that are unproven. And she's now part of the starting 5 as a national director, brand new $50,000 ring earner. And all of them did it in 2017. My question for you is, Are you going to get out of the group? I hate being a part of groups so much. I don't even like group text. See, when you're part of the group, you're essentially a part of a group text message. You get general bull crap sent to you. You get generalized information given to you. You get a generalized text message. Don't you hate that group text that you get? Happy Thanksgiving. Don't you hate those Happy New Year group texts? Don't you hate those, Merry Christmas group texts? See, many of you are so accustomed to being a part of the group because you have a generalized expectation. See, when you're a part of the team, you get a phone call. Merry Christmas. When you're a part of the team, you get a personalized phone call or a personalized visit. See, I really got this concept on my birthday. I got a bunch of generalized text messages. And those of you that text and wrote on Facebook, thank you so much. I'm appreciative. But you know what happened? When I got those phone calls, brother, I just want to call you and tell you happy birthday. Oh, I said, oh, these are people that are part of the team. They see me as a part of their team. I'm not a part of their group. They're not going to generalize me. They're going to put me in a personalized position to reach out and touch me because I'm a part of their team. And here's what I'm asking you tonight. Closing out the month of November. Are you going to stay in management mode with the rest of the group and have a generalized income that continues to fall backwards? Or are you going to join the team and get a specified result that causes you to spring forward and bear much fruit? Put that list together. That new list together. I want you to put that list together. I want you to have a list of at least 100 names on there. Well, Jarrod, I don't know 100 people. Yes, you do. You do. If you want to be a part of the team. See, if you want to stay in a group, I promise you won't come up with a name, names and numbers of 100 people. But if you want to be a part of the team, you'll do 100 plus. You will find people not only in your phone. You will go through your social media, people that have liked and commented and interacted on your post of whatever you've put up there. So you would reach out to them privately via inbox. Hey, I want to talk with you about something I'm getting ready to launch. I want to talk. I got a couple of questions for you. I need to talk with you. You mind giving me your number? Let's talk. And you put their name and their number on that sheet of paper. You built that list big. You built that list strong. You have 100 plus names and numbers on that list. And that is your admission into the team. And then we go to the next step. We start making phone calls to those people. We start making phone calls to expose those people to the vision of Project Build It for your last name. We start communicating to them, not about a vehicle. We don't talk to them about total life changes up front. We don't talk to those people about NutriBurst and Strike Up in Love and talk to those people right away about the products and about the comp plan. Why? Because everybody else is doing that. Everybody else sounds trite. Everybody else sounds mundane. That's why everybody else is not winning the way we're winning. That's why they're not dominating the way we're dominating, because they're all sound the same. They're all singing the same tune. Baby, we sell the same stuff, but we got a different sales pitch. We tell them, come, follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men. We talk to them about our vision of where we're going. You talk to them and you captivate their heart. See, before you ask for their hand, you must first touch their heart. If you talk to them about the vehicle, you talk to them about TLC, you talk to them about products, you're asking for their hand. But if you talk to them about their vision, I promise you, you will touch their heart. You put that list together. You call your coach. If you got access to me, you call me directly. Coach, I need to know how to share the vision with these people on my list. I need to know what to say, how to say it, where it's real for me. I don't want to be a carbon copy. I want to be a reflection. And I'll talk to you. I will coach you on how to tailor make your message where it resonates, where the vision resonates with people. See, we don't need all 100 to join us. No. We're looking, out of that 100, we're looking for only 12 to 15 to say yes. And out of that 12 to 15 that say yes, we're looking for the one that means it. Did you hear me? Out of the list of 100, we're looking for 12 to 15 to say yes, but only one that really means it. Because you're always one person away from a major explosion in your business. And I can tell you as an example that it has happened time and time and time again for me and my business. That's why I don't doubt it. That's why I don't reach for food when I have a headache. That's why I don't reach for water. That's why I don't reach for coffee. I reach for the 2 pills that I know are proven and guaranteed to get me the result. God bless you. God bless your families. And God most certainly bless your dreams. Go put that list together and then call your coach after you've put the list together.